Jesus loves me, and I am not alone, even in the silence. Even when I feel forgotten, He's still here. The loneliest feeling in the world, have you ever felt completely alone, even in a crowded room? It's strange how loneliness doesn't always show up when we're physically by ourselves. Sometimes we feel the most isolated, surrounded by people who don't really know us, or in conversations that stay surface level when our heart is quietly breaking beneath. There are seasons when no one checks in, moments when your phone stays silent, days when you wonder if anyone would notice if you disappeared for a while. And even though you may not say it out loud, the question echoes in your soul. Does anyone really see me? Does anyone really care? And deeper still, maybe you've asked, God, are you even here? Let's start with this truth, the kind that doesn't change based on feeling, time, or circumstance. Jesus loves you, and you are not alone. Not ever. Not even for a second. The love that never walks away. 1. Loneliness isn't new. But you're not forgotten. Loneliness is one of the most ancient human emotions. In fact, it goes all the way back to the Garden of Eden, even in paradise. Adam needed connection, which means being surrounded by beauty, isn't enough when our hearts feel empty. Loneliness isn't weakness. It's part of being human. But the lie we often believe in those moments is that we are unseen, or worse, unloved. But here's the truth. Even when people overlook you, Jesus never takes His eyes off you. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. You're never as alone as you feel. Because He's always been closer than you think. 2. The image that changed everything. 2 sets of footprints. Maybe you've heard the famous story called Footprints in the Sand. In it, a man looks back on his life and sees it as a series of footprints in the sand, his and Jesus. But during the hardest seasons, there's only one set of footprints. Confused and hurt, he asks Jesus, "Why did you leave me when I needed you the most?" And Jesus answers, "That's not when I left you, it's when I carried you." That's the kind of love Jesus offers. It's not just to walk with us, but to carry us when we can't walk ourselves. You may think He's been quiet, but the truth is, He's been holding you the whole time. When you feel invisible to the world, you smile through the day. You say, "I'm fine," when you're not. And deep down, you wonder, if I disappeared tomorrow, would anyone really notice? The ache of feeling invisible is heavy. But Jesus doesn't just see what others miss. He treasures what others overlook. In Luke 8, a woman who had been sick for 12 years reaches out and touches the edge of Jesus' robe. She doesn't even speak. She just hopes for healing. And what does Jesus do? He stops. In the middle of a crowd, He turns and says, "Who touched me?" He felt her. He saw her. And He called her daughter. He didn't just heal her body. He restored her dignity. He made sure she knew, "You are not invisible to me." 4. When you cry alone, He cries with you. There are tears we cry in front of others. And then there are the tears no one sees. The ones we cry into pillows, behind closed doors. Or while driving with the music turned up loud to drown out the silence. But you need to know, Jesus sees those tears. He doesn't just watch, He weeps with you. In John 11, Jesus arrives at the tomb of His friend Lazarus. He knows He's about to raise him from the dead, but still, when He sees the pain of those around Him, He breaks down.
Ow.
Jesus wept. Shortest verse in the Bible, and maybe the most powerful, tells us this: your pain moves the heart of God. You're never crying alone. 5. The hallway between loneliness and love. There's a space between feeling alone and knowing you're loved. We call it the hallway, the in-between place, where you're not where you were, but not yet where you hope to be. It's quiet there. It's hard to wait. But it's also where Jesus does some of His best work, because in that hallway, He's building trust, shaping you, softening your heart, reassuring you that even in the silence, He's still speaking. And when the door opens and you walk into a new season, you will look back and realize you were never really alone. You were just being drawn closer. 6. The kind of presence that never leaves. Jesus didn't just promise to love us. He promised to stay. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age. That's not symbolic. That's literal. Even when you feel emotionally numb, you question your worth. You drift in your faith. You don't feel him at all. He's still right there. And the more you lean into that, even quietly, even slowly, the more you begin to sense the peace that comes not from being surrounded by people, but from being held by God. You were never alone, so let's come back to that question. Am I really alone? No, not now, not ever. Not when you felt abandoned. Not when the group left you out. It's not when the phone didn't ring. It's not when the tears wouldn't stop. Not when your heart felt too heavy to carry. Jesus was there. You may not have seen him at the time. But if you look back, not with your eyes, but with your heart, you might start to notice that comfort you felt out of nowhere. That was him. That strength to keep going when you wanted to give up, that was him too. The peace in the middle of your storm, it didn't come from you. That came from the one walking beside you. You are not alone. You are fully known, and you are completely loved. So the next time the silence feels loud, the next time you wonder if anyone's really there, the next time you walk down the beach of your life and see just one set of footprints, remember this? That's not when Jesus left. That's when he carried you, and he always will. If this message touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Click subscribe to keep walking through that God is speaking to you. Series hit, like if you believe God is whispering in your storm. Share this with someone who needs to hear. The storm will pass, but God remains. See you in the next episode. God speaks through people. May the Lord be with you, even in the quietest moments.